Look, I was raised to where the man in the house gets the first plates, okay? Then it's the kids, then it's the woman. Like, I eat last. I prepared the meal. I'm gonna make sure everybody else eat, and then I'm going to eat, okay? And after my man is done eating, I am picking up his plates. Baby, do not touch that plate. I don't care where we're at. If we're at my house, my mama's house, his mama's house, don't touch that plate. I got it. Okay, and everybody wasn't raised the same, but my granny did not play that shit. When I'm saying that, I'm not saying we all don't eat together, but that's the arrangement that I'm making the plates. That's the order of which I'm making our plates. I'm making my man's plate, I'm making the kids' plate, and then I'm making my plate.
You can go ahead.
I see no problem with that. I mean, today's women may do, but I mean, I see no problems with that. I think that's the order of how it should be done. The man makes the money. He's the hard worker most of the time in most cases, so you should serve his dinner first. The kids are next because they're gonna require a little time. I may want this, I want that, so you take the kids in order for you to enjoy your meal and everybody's satisfied. Then of course you fix your plate last. I agree with everything she just said, but I know some new age women may not find that the case, but I believe what she says is how it should go. That's the order.
This question has been raised a million times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I can kind of go with it. I mean, me personally, I think that you know, I think the kids should go first.
Mm-hmm.
If it's situation where the man hadn't been out busting his butt all day, and the kids they hadn't they've been around the house all day, then yeah, you'll want to fix the man's plate first,
Mm-hmm.
because he been out there grinding, but
Mm-hmm.
you know if if that's not the case, then the kids hungry. I'm gonna let them eat first. I'm like, hey, go on, fix them kids' plate, then you can fix my plate. I rather
Mm-hmm.
see them eat first, because I know what hunger feel like. And I don't want them to be sitting around waiting on you to fix their food. I mean, fix my food, then fix theirs. I mean, that's all. So it's not that big of a deal. But I will say this much though, you know. Well, I guess I pose a question. Would If a man is living with a woman, do he still get to get his plate fixed first?
It depends on his role with living with that woman. Yes. I mean, I don't see why you would change that if you respect that man and you see that man, because sometimes the living arrangements under which roof it is determined strictly by, hey, he might have had an apartment and she owned a home. And so if she respects that man in that way to take him in as a mate, then yes, it still goes to in that order. But I know what you're probably thinking of in a situation where the woman is the breadwinner of the house, she runs the house. Is that still the way that it goes? Well, I guess under those circumstances, maybe not. Maybe he at home being the housemaker and he fixing her plate. He might be the cook and the cleaner, and he might be the stay-at-home person. And so then he should serve her when she comes home because she's the breadwinner in that situation. But I think that most of the time, if you take a man into the living quarters of yours, like you have the house, why would you treat the man less than because he moved into your
So
situation?
how
To
you know
me,
how that's gonna go?
you should go with the better situation. So if the woman owns her house or she is actually buying her house and the man is in an apartment and you meet, why should she sell her house and then go live in an apartment? No, we go into the house that's better for the family, for us to build the family and for us to do well, but it doesn't demean the man to me because he moved into your house. Now I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, he moved into a house, the woman is going to act a certain way. But if you know your place as a woman and you understand your role in a man's life, it should not matter what's the address in which you live on. You still should submit and honor that man, because if you don't feel that way, then why choose that man to live with? It's meeting the needs of the person that you choose to be with. So the address shouldn't change that. It shouldn't change your behavior. So I think when women act that way, It don't matter if he would have moved that woman into her house, she still would have act that way. Into his house, she still would have act that way because she doesn't understand the art of submission. She doesn't understand her role in a man's life. So it doesn't matter what address you put her under. It
Oh
ain't gonna
yeah,
matter.
it matters a whole lot.
It ain't gonna matter. She's not gonna. She still is going to show up and do what she do.
Oh yes, it
She's still
does.
gonna do. She's still
Yeah,
gonna do that. It
that's
may be a
true.
matter of time, but
I
she's still
agree.
gonna be who she is
But that's
at
the
all
difference.
times.
Yeah, but that's the difference between you sleeping in your car.
Hmm.
That's the difference between you sleeping in your car or you still having a roof over your. But this is this is my question. I got another one. Can a man be the head of the household if he moves in with a woman?
If he's a man, traditionally, if he's a man, he's the head of household. I don't care if he's moving who he moves in, he still has that ability. I mean, making being the head of the household is not about the address in which you live on, it's about who you are as a man. So if you are that man, yes, you're gonna still be that man. Now, it's not to say that you might not meet with a woman who doesn't understand your role and who's not willing to accept that. And so then she may act up. But I'm saying, even if you took that woman and put that woman in your home, that woman is going to act up because a woman who knows her role and her place in a man's life, where you live at ain't gonna change that. It's not gonna change that. She's gonna know, hey, this man moved into my house. She's gonna make it very clear to her kids or whoever he is the head of this household, and she's gonna treat him with that respect and such. But if she doesn't know that, it doesn't matter if you move her into a house. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Then he has the leverage of saying, get out my house. But I mean, a real masculine man, he's going to give her time to get out, just as she will give you time to get out of her house if it's not a violent situation. I
Oh,
mean, any just humanity should just being a person with some humility and being a right person would make you give the other person the opportunity to find another place to stay if y'all not working out. So when you go into all that throwing people clothes out in the street, whether it's him or her, if it escalated to that, that was a bad situation going into it from the very beginning. So you shouldn't have been with that person. And people choose wrong all the time.
do you think a woman will completely, totally respect the man that she allows to move in with her?
Once
Do, do,
again,
do you think she could ever give him full, uh, complete respect?
yes, depending on the woman. I can't
Okay.
answer for all women, but I can answer for me. If I live in my own house, I have my own apartment, my own house or whatever, and I'm in my owning my own home. And a man, and I choose a man, if I choose to be with that man and that man to come and live with me and I'm looking for marriage with that man, yes. Because I'm going to choose a man that I deem worthy of being the head of the household, and I will relinquish that gladly to him. Easy, without a problem, because I know my role. That's I'll be glad to give it to.
Yeah.
Let me take the head of worry off, and you can have it. Doesn't matter the address.
Yeah, this is the perfect example, guys. Uh, Women will say anything. As soon as you move in, they say everything is gonna go all right and it's okay and you can be respected. But trust me, when things get to going left, you'll see.
Well, I guess I mean if that's the way you see it, then that's the way you see it. You can't make a man see something, but it's relationships that do work that way, and I have been in relationships that have worked that way. So I know what for fact, and it just depends on the woman and what she knows, the way how she shows up for the man and how she respects the man in her life. If she don't respect you, she don't have respect for you. She don't care if she's in your house and don't respect you, because a woman that's deemed to be able to take care of herself and do for herself, she don't really care if she's in your house and you say, get out of my house. Okay, I'll get out your house. That's not going to make her respect you because, oh, she's living in your house.
No, that's not gonna make her respect you. The thing, my point is this. That's the difference between you sleeping in your car or having a house or having a place to stay, because number one, most of the time, most women land on their feet anyway when things go south, because there's plenty of places and protection that the government got set in place for women when they go through things like this here. They got the safe house. Yeah, it's all kind of little government programs that you can get temporary housing and stuff like that. That's why you don't really see a whole lot of women homeless on the street unless they just on drugs real bad. You don't really see that. But the thing about it is this: uh, I don't think that a woman truly will ever give you the utmost respect if you pick up your bags and move in with her. I just don't think that. Especially if you know, you I tell you what, let me back up. If you have a place of your own, whether it's an apartment, whether it's whatever, then I think she can respect you if you keep that place of your own. But if you just up and move in with her, then it's gonna be, because women, you can't get really go off of what they say. It's more so you better be watching their actions. And if their
Well,
actions
then
tell
in
you
that case, the
that this
woman
is
didn't
the
respect you
problem,
anyway.
yeah, I mean, women act on their on feelings and emotions, and if their emotion tell them that it's time for you to go, it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. It doesn't matter if they're treating you wrong, because we have so many examples. And I tell you a perfect example. Who was that? Who was that? That was Tyrese. Tyrese, wasn't it that woman that was the little gouty woman and swearing up and down before she got him that she was so different and wasn't after his money and this and that and blah blah blah. Soon as things went haywire, she took that boy down through yonder. She took him down through there. And he could have swore by God that she wasn't that type of woman. And she was, I think she was going around saying that, if I'm not mistaken, man. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. She had everybody fooled. She had everybody fooled. It's just not feasible, man. I don't think so. But it's about who get their food fixed first. That's what that's what we talking about here. And I don't really have no big issue with the placement and order of food or whatever. I think this has been a topic that's been discussed over and over and over. And you know, some people gonna say kids, some people gonna say the husband. Some people say it don't matter. And I think that it all depends on what the situation is. That's my take on it.